Contrary to popular belief, I find supported race harder. I find that I feel little pressure when I have bunch of people in the van following me. I feel like I can't let them down firstly, and then I feel like I have to put in my 100 200% and make sure that there's more pressure. If I'm on my own, it's completely my effort, my uh, everything that goes into it, right? Got onto the rollers, and there I started seeing people one by one crossing some of the guys. It was very interesting. Like, okay, now getting a little competitive with some of the racers. So there was this particular person who, on every climb, I would overtake him, but downhill, he would overtake me. He went on like that for some time. Nice challenge. Both of us did not give up.
I am Venki, a working professional in IT as well as an amateur masters athlete and a coach for endurance sports. You are listening to the Working Athlete podcast. Here, I talk to working athletes from all walks of life and experts from various sports to provide you with inspiration, training tips, and lifestyle advice. If this is something that interests you, I have a small request from you. Please subscribe to the channel on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts from. You can also let me know what you like and what you would like to listen to more of by commenting in the comment section on YouTube. I promise to do my best to improve with each episode and bring you the best content that helps you and me get better each day. In this episode, we talk to Grinshina Karthik, also known as Grinny. We spoke to her about her journey into ultra endurance in episode number 151. Please check it out if you have not already done so. In this episode, we talked to her about her first supported ultra endurance race, Race the Pearl, 24-hour race from one end of Sri Lanka to another. She shares her experience of racing in this beautiful country and highly recommends it for anyone who is looking for a RAAM qualifier race and an amazing experience rolled into one. It is always a pleasure chatting with Grinny with her infectious energy. I hope you enjoy this conversation as much as I did. This episode is brought to you by The Bike Affair. If you are in search of a one-stop destination that caters to all your cycling needs, our today's sponsor, The Bike Affair, is the perfect place to check out. I have known the founders of The Bike Affair, Krish and Gokul, personally for nearly 15 years now. In fact, my first century ride was with Krish back in 2008. They are both exceptional human beings and entrepreneurs that believe in providing exceptional service to their customers. And it shows. With over 14 years of experience, the Bike Affair has established itself as a trusted source offering honest advice and exceptional service. They are offering a special treat for the listeners of this podcast. You can enjoy a 10% discount on your first order by using the code BikeyVenki on their website. So if you are in Hyderabad, visit their store in Kondapur, or if you are anywhere else in India, shop online by using the link thebikeaffair.com. I will leave the link in the show notes. Now, enjoy the podcast. Hi, Grinny. Welcome to the Working Athlete podcast again.
Thank you very much, Venki.
So this time, it's been maybe 2-3 months since we met for the last time.
Yeah.
But this time you have a very nice, you have. This is your first race, I think.
Supported race.
First supported race. So I want to get all the stories from you. This is race Race of Pearl.
Race the Pearl, RTP.
RTP, Race the Pearl. In its route around Sri Lanka, the coast along the coast.
Like across Sri Lanka, from the northernmost tip to the southernmost tip.
Nice. So Race the Pearl. Let us get into it. So. You have done races before, but most of them are all of them are self-supported.
I've done just one race before,
Mhm.
a 1200K in India, and it was self supported. I have never done even like a real life TT, the 40-kilometer TT before. So I've done only ultra distance race, one unsupported, and this was my first supported. Otherwise, I'm like a endurance rider, you know.
So what was this 1200
It was
race?
Ultra Spice.
Ultra Spice,
Yeah, a
right?
couple of years back.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So now coming to this supported race, so how let us get into how uh, how was the experience? Yeah, more or less.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would like to thank you, Venki, for this opportunity. I distinctly remember what you told me. I told you that I'm not a racer. You said, Grinny, there is this opportunity. It's a fully sponsored and supported race in Sri Lanka. And my first thing was like, I'm not a racer, Venki. And you said, you are a racer, but you don't know yet. Do you remember that? So, and I was like, oh my God, what am I supposed to do with this? So I was like, okay, people have this impression about me. So I need to, work up towards that. I need to scale up. I need to level up. So I thought I need to put in the effort because other people seem to have that faith in me. So I need to go and find that out and bring it. So yeah, so thank you very much for this opportunity. I would probably have never done it if it wasn't you and the sponsors who came forward, to do this race. So so once it came, and within 2 days, I had to figure out things like how am I going to do this and what kind of this format itself is completely new to me. So I'm used to taking some amount of break, little bit of sleep, and it starts at midnight. So I had to, iron out the details of how to go about it. So that was a challenge. The planning process itself was like a challenge for me.
So before we get into the details, let us give a shout out to the race organizers and the sponsors. That actually Soul Fitness Resorts and the RTP organizers, Yashas
And spinner cycling.
Spinner Cycling, right? So this is a amazing place, amazing country, and the setting itself is amazing for the race. The 24-hour format and it being a RAM qualifier. I was actually surprised that I didn't know about it, before. I only got to know about it when, through actually Soul Fitness Resorts on the Bachi, and when Nesha pinged, and I was like, wow, very intrigued. I was actually, if I were endurance rider, longer distance endurance, I would have signed up, but I was not. But then I kind of thought about who is the who will fit the bill, right? To kind of do the event and also kind of spread awareness about the event, right? So your name came to mind, and Srini's, and Soul Fitness Resorts was kind enough. Baji was kind enough to kind of they take that supporting the riders in a way. So he has done it before through to go cycling and all that. Now through another venture of his. So it was great to kind of connect you guys. I haven't done much beyond that, to be honest, right? So now let us talk about the I remember distinctly that when because it is kind of supported race, you were very apprehensive. What were your apprehensions about a supported event?
So I don't know. I think Contrary to popular belief, I find supported race harder. I find that I feel little pressure when I have bunch of people in the van following me. I feel like I can't let them down firstly, and then I feel like I have to put in my 100 200% and make sure that I don't I mean it should not be like a failure. Yeah. So there's more pressure. If I'm on my own, it's completely my effort, my uh, everything that goes into it, right? So if someone else is betting on you, then you need to scale up, you need to level up to that level, and make sure that you are meeting all the parameters. So that is like different for me. So I find that more challenging.
Right. So it becomes a team effort,
Yeah.
right? Because supported events, the support crew plays a major,
Role.
massive role, and the it is not very easy. Also, the role of a support crew.
Yeah.
I think they put in as much effort as the rider themselves.
Absolutely,
Right.
absolutely.
It is very hard job
Yeah.
to actually do. So I mean, your apprehension being at maybe I will let the team down, kind of that kind of apprehension was what held you back, I guess. But the main thing that kind of struck me was you were afraid of taking the challenge, but it was not that the fear. You did not let that fear stop you from taking the plunge.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that is what is important.
Yeah, I cannot say no to an opportunity like this. It's like most people wish for something like this, and when it comes up, you just simply have to say yes and work, train hard, and see, give your best shot. So at least, yeah, I was up for that.
Good. So how was the preparation for it, and how did you go about it?
It took me a little by surprise because I was generally chilling after PBP. So I took a good amount of rest, maybe like 3 to 4 weeks of rest. I mean, I was doing other things, but on cycling perspective, my training was very, very less. So I had to ramp up quickly because this is a race. I had to do some shock treatment to get into the zone back again. And ultra distance is okay. I'm comfortable with the distance, but from a race perspective, I need to be like able to push higher zones and all that. So I had to like train within 1 month. I had like exactly a month to train, or actually little less than a month. I started from 3rd October and started with my FTP test, and then my coach was like, we have to, I mean, don't worry, but I was like, I'm ready to do morning and evening double training. So he was like, no, that's okay, you don't have to do that, but because you don't want to overdo it also, and then not be, that's also not going to help you be race ready. So yeah, so I was nervous, but I put in the training that was there. I never missed anything, and went in with that, and with a positive frame of mind. There were a lot of challenges in the background. I had my husband was sick like on the second last day, just before traveling.
Wow.
I was in hospital the entire day, and so we couldn't figure out. So scan after scan, so that was going on. Some other stressful things were going on. So a lot of things in the background, but so I had to just block everything and stay focused on the goal. And however foolish it seems, I was in it to win it.
Right.
So yeah, so I go in with that attitude. You have to give in your 100%, and especially when other people have that faith in you, then you better have that faith in yourself and work towards it. So yeah, so I went in with a good amount of preparation within the short span of time. Yeah, I could have prepared better had I known that I was doing this race earlier. But yeah.
Yeah, I hope all those issues they were
Yeah,
okay
for
issues.
now, for
Yeah.
now.
So now getting into the race itself, right? So how did it go? How was the experience?
So
Break it down for us.
sure. So I'll just tell you like how I traveled and got to Jaffna.
Sure.
So when we took a flight from Chennai. So I drove to Chennai and took a flight to Jaffna because there's no direct flight anyway from Bangalore to Jaffna. We went to Jaffna. Jaffna is I think very similar to the southern parts of Tamil Nadu in terms of weather and all that. So pretty humid, hot, and close to the sea. And they had arranged a very nice hotel in Jaffna. The first thing that strikes you as you as you leave the airport in Jaffna is the empty houses. It's like you can see the war has impacted the place.
Right.
So it's kind of a little bit chilling, a little sad to see that. But as you get into the city, there's a lot of hustle bustle and this huge hotel. They had the race organizers, Yashas and Spinner Cycling, had booked us into this fantastic place. So we were able to relax, get good sleep, set up our bike, and do a short ride and see everything is okay. So that was a background. So we arrived on. The race was on 28th. So the 27th midnight is when it started. So we reached on 26th. So we had the whole of 26th and the 27th daytime. Got our race kit and put the bib and all that. Got everything ready. And at midnight, the atmosphere was electric. I mean, I was like really amazed by the organizers. Firstly, like the people, all the racers are like very well put together. The Sri Lankan racers, then overseas racers. They had some Tour de France
Right.
people
Yeah.
as well who come in. So we were in like elite company.
Retired pros. Yeah.
Yeah.
From who actually won
One yellow
races.
jersey.
Yeah.
So pretty amazing. Atmosphere was electric, and so that was how it started out. So the beginning of the race was, I think, the 600-kilometer part. We had different checkpoints. I think around 150 to 100 to 150 kilometers distant, spaced out like that. Um, the first 5 kilometers was like a zone where everyone rides together, and then you start off. So my plan for this race was not to burn the matches early on,
Right.
right
Yeah.
in Jaffna, because the heat, I know that I always struggle with heat. Even if it's midnight in Jaffna, it was pretty hot. And I was like pouring right in the beginning, like standing there without even riding and dripping in sweat. So, yeah. So the place was pretty amazing. Like Point Pedro is like that tip in the top northernmost point,
Right.
So we were actually there. And if you take a boat, you can actually go back to India. So you can the choice of going back or ride and finish. So yeah, so we started out, everyone was like in that nice bunch, the first 5 kilometers. And then there was this bike leading us, all the riders, and they were like, 3, 2, 1, and boom, everybody just disappeared. All of them shot out. And I was like, okay, this is like really serious business because I'm not seeing anybody around me. All of them have zoomed off. So I had a plan of maintaining my zone two for the initial part. So I think the first 50 kilometers I was riding in a very comfortable pace and trying to get aero, but the strong headwinds, really strong headwinds, and you have. Vehicles when they pass in the opposite direction. It's a two-way.
Right.
I mean, it's really good road, But when a bus passes in the opposite direction, I would completely shake up. So the bus would go, and 3 seconds after that, I'm like this. So I try to go aero, and every time a vehicle goes, I'm like back to the hoods. So I'm like, let's just stay safe and be on the hoods and keep riding like that. So I was going like that, and around I think after 2 hours or yeah, so I started cramping in my hands.
Oh,
So it was yeah. So lot
is the
of
humidity
salt loss. I was cramping. I never cramp so early.
so early? Yeah.
That in my hands.
Yeah.
So I'm not able to hold the shifters also. So I had to stop and quickly took the full bottle of electrolyte. I just emptied the bottle of electrolyte and slowly I could feel the cramps releasing. And then I continued, and then I was like, I had kept a carb and a bottle of carb and water initially, so that water was not sufficient. I had to have electrolyte, so I went full into the electrolyte mode, and so then water was not in the picture, just these two I was having. So that then onwards it was pretty good. So the first stop was Vavunia. I think less than 150 kilometers.
Right.
And the first stop, as planned, we reached there early morning. I think just before 6 or so. No, I'm not sure of the exact time. Let me not say
Right.
that.
Yeah.
So it was early morning, and yeah,
These are like the control points, is
these
it?
are the control
Yeah.
points. Vavonia was the first control point. Again, a very nice hotel, and everything is laid out. Finally, I'm seeing some races. So I'm like, okay, there are people here. And then I have to make up with time, because I am not that fast. So I have to make sure I don't waste any time. Quickly take a washroom break, and just get the bottles and eat little bit. I think peanut butter sandwich I was eating, and had a sandwich, and then quickly moved on from there. Maybe max of 10 minutes, and yeah, I think even that was little long. I should have planned better and made it lesser. So yeah, from there we went, and next stop was um, Dambuya. Dambuya, yeah, Dambuya, I think it's called.
Right.
So I was heading towards that, and we were going at a pretty good. I mean, I was feeling like I'm in the zone, riding consistently, satisfied with the ride, and I think I saw there. I started seeing a couple of people, and slowly there was this, and we were like getting into that zone where it is like the flat was over, and it was getting into rolling and climb zone.
Right.
So as soon as I get into the rolling terrain, I'm like the happiest person. So
That's your zone.
my zone, Bangalore. We like to do the rollers. So got onto the rollers, and there I started seeing people one by one crossing some of the guys. It was very interesting. Like, okay, now getting a little competitive with some of the racers. So there was this particular person who, on every climb, I would overtake him, but downhill, he would overtake me. We went on like that for some time. Nice challenge. Both of us did not give up. And then there was a girl I had overtaken, and there was another guy. Some three people I overtook, and I think in the support vehicle also they were also getting excited seeing that. And but towards I think last 3 to 4 kilometers, just before the control, we had little bit of hitch with our navigation.
Oh.
So the navigation was like taking us to. We took one wrong turn, then I came back, then we went somewhere, and then we went into a patchy gravel kind of space and all that. And then by the time we reached that hotel, the other two people were there already. So, but never mind. So I was like, now we have to like put in more effort, and that was again a very nice setup. These I don't know where the organizers found such nice places right along the route. Not very far also, and full buffet. And I'm like, oh my God, there's so much of yummy food. I can't stop and savor everything. I'm like, okay, I'll try this. I took a little bit of this. And my sponsor himself was in the support vehicle, Kanchi. And he was like, we'll take this for you. I'm like, yeah, I'll take this. And I want this. He was like packing everything, and I feel very bad for them because the driver also, he was also not able to eat because I'm rushing everywhere. They're not able to stop, and they're not able to eat or go to the restroom and all. I'm like, okay, no, we're leaving. So whatever in that few minutes they could pick up, they had to pick up, and we left from there. So I think I picked up milk rice over there. Milk rice is a very interesting
What is that?
Sri Lankan dish. It's like rice cake. I mean, cooked rice, yeah, cut. They cook it in milk.
Okay.
And it's, like cut into pieces. So you can just grab a piece and keep biting and
Oh,
eating.
nice.
It's
Rice
nice.
cakes.
Yeah, rice cake and cooked, steamed stuff. So it's very good, right? Nice high carb
Yeah, even
stuff.
the pros actually use
Yeah.
rice cakes.
Yeah, you have those brands making rice cakes, and those are not at all tasty. And this was so good. So I was like, okay, I'll take this. But I try to eat, but it's not, it's not going in. So I have that problem. I can't, my intake of carb is like, I have to work on that. I'm not able to stuff it in. And then we keep moving, and then it's all climbs. After that, it's like you would imagine island nation to be like flat. It's so deceptive. I was like, this is not fair. Because even in the route, when you look at the map, right, it doesn't look hard. It doesn't look that hard. There are gradients and all that. But in this case, everything is bunched in the second half.
Oh.
And it's like, Jog Falls. Yeah, I was writing some of those sections and I'm like, where am I? This looks exactly like Jog Falls. So it's like continuous climbs, relentless climbs, 4%, 5%, 6%, 9%. Maximum was like one coconut tree, 16%. 16%. And it was in the peak of the heat, hot afternoon, I think around 12 or 11:30, 12 or something like that. It
Right.
was so hot, and 16% has come in. And after that, Bachi is telling me all climbs are over. It's easy from now. Okay, and then I go down. After the descents are also so deceptive in this race. You go down little bit. And then again you climb. You're again doing continuous 3%, 4%, and then you go down little bit, and again you climb. So the descent is like that. You climb, and you come down. So it's completely like that. And even when in the map, it looks like all down towards the last part of it. So yeah, before getting to the last part, I was pretty all right. Even after those climbs and all that, doing well, uh, and uh, I think all checkpoints, everything was in time.
Right.
Then we were feeling. I mean, the heat also takes out, saps the energy.
So each of the checkpoints have a cutoff, is it?
Yeah. So but I think everything was like all right within time. And the average speed, I was looking at the average speed that I was maintaining. So, and that's actually still not a great thing to go with. What you need to look at is the elapsed time versus the
Right.
uh,
So
this
basically, you have to take out auto pause and then look at the average speed, I guess. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I was trying to maintain that certain average, and below a certain point, that you're not going to make it. So I was on that line, and so then it starts playing in your mind. You can't go below that, and so I was maintaining it for quite a bit, and I think around Velavaya. Velavaya is like only climbing. There is nothing there. To get to Velavaya, you have to keep climbing. Like, where is Velavaya? Why is it not coming? So it was pretty intense getting there. It reminded me of all the climbs that we do in our Bangalore
Right.
railways.
Bliss of heaven. What is that?
Gates of heaven.
Gates of heaven.
Yeah.
Pretty all the climbs
Yeah.
in South India. Yeah.
Pretty intense. So they have good hills. This was not like HC category climb or so, but
But smaller,
smaller,
but steeper.
continuous climbs. Like it's not like you can take a break in there is some descent. So getting to Veluvaya was like pretty tough, and again it was all right. But after that, it was supposed to be a descent, and Vaji is like now 35 kmph. We should bring it home. I am also mentally prepared for that because I'm not tired. I'm still feeling strong and legs are fine. No issues as such. It's just that not able to hold
The food.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not able to push in solid food. But yeah, liquid carbs are going in, and it's going. So I'm ready to this thing, and I'm like ready to empty everything out and finish the race. Okay, but as we get closer to the descent part, as it 35 kmph is not even reaching like 25 kmph. Okay,
Why is that? Winds and stuff?
no, it continuous climbs.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
even
No
at-
descent.
there is no descent. It's like going on with 4%, 5%, because 4 to 5% you need to work. Okay,
Right.
2% you can.
Yeah, I mean,
by.
even 1-2% you have to work. Right?
Yeah.
It's not flat or
It's not-
downhill.
yeah. So this is like you're continuously putting it. I'm like, why is that average speed not going up? It's going down. So, and still, I'm like standing and pushing every climb. I had decided every single climb I'm going to stand and power through now, because there's no option. You can't like sit and this thing. You have to stand and push it and give it everything. Standing, pushing, and doing everything in my, emptying all my reserves and trying to get it there. And I think the time, I'm looking at the time, and it's becoming like closer to the 24-hour mark. And then we got to 525 kilometers
Right.
within 24 hours. And I was like, okay, this got done. And so I'm like super disappointed because I wanted to finish it. And I was started thinking maybe in the beginning I should not have conserved. But then if you did not conserve, then
You would have,
you wouldn't have had.
we wouldn't have survived that much. Yeah.
Yeah. So there are multiple ways to assess that also. Yeah. So then feeling a little dejected, but I went on for till 550. After that, I'm still going so slowly, and like this thing, I was like, I think I should not put the people in the back through more torture. So I decided to stop at 550. So that's 50 kilometers to the end. I mean, could have finished, but it would have been very, very slow.
Right. But the main thing is that this is your first race, supported race of this format. You have done 24-hour kind of challenges indoors and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Right. But this is with these kind of climbs, this kind of terrain and humidity, heat, and this is a new experience for you. I'm sure this experience would hold you well for the future races. So what are some of the learnings from this experience?
So my key thing is that you need to train. I mean, for a race specific, something like this 24-hour race, you need to, you have to work on your zones. You have to, train harder.
Right.
Simply. And it has to be race specific. So that was one. And second part is like managing the support also. I mean, I had incredible support. Luckily, I didn't have any punctures and issues like that.
Right.
So at some point, I need to also think like, okay, don't worry about them, but
Yeah, you have to just focus on your performance and stuff.
yeah. So that's a learning for me because I tend to get worried about upsetting people.
Right. No, that is also, yeah, that comes with experience, and because it is critical. You being considerate to the support crew is very nice, but at the end of the day, you have to, you are a team.
Yeah.
So once you sign up for a team, you have to work towards the success of the team.
Yeah.
So it applies to you,
Yeah.
and it applies to them, right? So you should.
They did such an exemplary
Correct.
role. Yeah.
So, but you worrying about them means that you are holding something
Holding
back.
something. Yeah.
Right. So, and yeah.
Yes, and smaller things also, like in terms of the bottle, the carb powder, when I was drinking some part of it, I was not getting the this thing. Then I realized it's not shaken. So then from Srini's crew, I learned that they have a separate shaker. So they're like a very evolved team, So they use a shaker, shake it thoroughly, and then transfer it into the bottle. So yeah, small things like that you learn only when with that experience, you know.
Yeah, he has done like multiple and RAAM twice and all that. So it comes with that kind of experience. But yeah. So when you are looking at, so you have done this. So why did you have actually already answered why you did not go ahead and finish it, beyond time, but thinking about the crew.
Yeah, but I really regret that. After, I think that feeling of regret hits you as soon as you reach the finish line.
Right.
And when I'm seeing, then I'm like, oh man, I should have just finished this.
Right.
It's like everything was there. It happens in that small moment, of weakness where you think like, okay, I think I should just stop. And people are also not so, they're not, they're not aggressive with me. They're like, okay, it's fine. You're tired. You come. I mean, they were so nice. And I was like, okay, fine.
Bhati is such a nice girl. Yeah.
So sweet. So I was like, okay, maybe somebody should have just said, no, Grinny, go.
Yeah. So one thing that I really liked about what the organizer Yashas has said, DNF
Yeah.
is not, did not fear.
Did not fear.
Yeah. So that is, you did not fear to take up the challenge. Right. That I think is very, very well put.
Yeah.
Right. So and it kind of applies to you because you have that fear, but you did not let that hold you back.
Yeah.
Right. So how what is your message for someone who is looking to kind of maybe take up this challenge in the future editions?
I would say Sri Lanka is an excellent country for riding, and this race is so well organized and so well put together. I'm so glad that this race has been my first supported race experience. Definitely go for it. Train hard for it. Do not think that it's a island and it's going to be like flat, or just look at the map online and this thing. Try to figure out the actual elevation and train for that, because and Sri Lankan riders are really strong. I mean,
Right.
they're all so used to the terrain, and so it's very similar to some of the rolling and climbs that we have in Bangalore. I would say the southern part of Sri Lanka is Bangalore, northern part of Sri Lanka is Chennai. So it's neither is easy, because riding continuously on a flat also, it means you're not getting any break.
You also winds. How are the winds?
Strong, really strong headwinds. Till you cross the 250 mark, you're having strong headwinds and heat. So you have to deal with that.
Humid. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not at all easy, but it's doable. I think you have to work hard to get that 600 in 24 hours. It's not something that's going to be, I mean, otherwise everybody would be doing it. So you need to really put the effort, train for it very specifically. Yeah, and it was an amazing experience.
Are you going to give it another shot?
For sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. So you also kind of visited Sol Fitness resorts, right?
Yeah.
How was that?
It was super interesting, and something like this I'm seeing for the first time. Very fitness oriented. Had I not been like going to the race, I would have checked out and done all the activities there.
Right.
So you have like this open gym, and I don't know if you've seen this show, American Ninja Warrior,
Right.
on TV,
Yeah.
where they do all these obstacles and all that. So some of those obstacles were there, the steps that you jump across and then pull up, and then that cable rope thing. So all those things are like so exciting to try out. Like a lot of fun can be had, and it's a great fitness holiday sort of thing. People who would rather have a fitness holiday and not just drink and spend your time I mean, there's nothing wrong in that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this is the place to go for that. The one thing that I really like, they have these cabins, little cabins, very beautifully done, and on each of the cabin, it's there's a nice little caption. I am what do you call it? I am balanced, I am healthy, like affirmations.
Right.
So I found that so nice. I went and clicked a picture of all those cabins. It was very nicely done, and it's home cooked food. So nice blend of balanced diet, and kitchen is like, you can it's in the main house. You can go and help yourself, and um, everything is like open and nicely done. And yeah, the most interesting thing over there was walking in the lawn barefoot for me.
Nice.
So I don't think I've done that consciously in a very long time. Took my shoes off and just walked. So for 1 hour, I was just walking, and I was feeling that sense of connection, grounding. It was so good and so calming just before the race. I think that is something that I really enjoyed. And the things that I did not utilize in the resort, they have ice bath, they have steam sauna. So
Right.
that ice bath is something I would like to try out next time after a race. Just go there and get into the ice bath. That would be great recovery.
Yeah. That's a great place for all the athletes, or even someone who is looking to get into fitness kind of holidays, right?
Yeah.
So this is near Vellore,
Ranipet. Yeah, close to
Ranipet,
Well.
right? Nice. So a big shout out to Bachi and Soul Fitness Resort. If the viewers should if you get a chance, go check it out.
Vachi sir put himself completely behind, not just sponsoring the event, but actually being part of the support, like
Right.
physically being in the car and being part of the support team. That was next level.
That is really awesome from him. So what next for you in terms of these kind of events?
Racing, I would like to come back to this RTP and maybe explore the other events also, which Yashas
In India.
conducts
Yeah.
in Sri Lanka. So,
Okay.
3 of them are race format, and one is like around Sri Lanka in a non-race format. So maybe one of those events I will.
Do you know what they are and what are the formats?
The 4 hour is, I think you have attempted.
No, I haven't gone.
Okay, so I think
So actually, Bachi told me about it. I think it consists of 4 climbs or something like that. Yeah.
4,000 meters of elevation. I think that's sometime in January.
Srinath Lakshmikant or Srinath
correct.
went and did
Yeah,
it. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's an interesting event. That's in the climb zone. I think there are some cat one level
Correct. Yeah.
HC and all that. So
Yeah.
that's one. Then there is this across Sri Lanka from Colombo across to the east. Yeah, west to east,
Mhm.
easternmost point. So
Right.
that's a 300K. That's a race. So these two are races, and then you have all around the country. So
Okay.
that's a 1,500 kilometer ride.
Mhm.
I think they have 10 days or something allotted to that.
Right.
So
Nice,
nice,
nice.
nicely planned events. Very, very well
Hmm.
done.
Are you also going to try any supported races within India and stuff?
I'm not very sure about supported races.
Right.
Yeah, if something, I never say no to anything.
Right.
If there is a challenge and something really exciting coming up, I like this format of from the, I mean, I think the top of India to bottom of India, the race across India.
India, yeah, yeah.
It's a
That
massive race.
Amit has put together.
Amit
Yeah.
has put together. So that's an interesting one because I have done bits and parts of that NH44.
In K2K, right?
No, I didn't do north to south. I
Hmm.
did west to east.
Right.
But in breves, various breves across the country, I have covered most parts of it.
Right.
So there are some parts of it which I have not covered, maybe like Madhya Pradesh and even Andhra Pradesh, I've covered quite a bit. So I am curious to know that part, and then that would be nice. But that's a mammoth task. It's
Right. Yeah,
humongous.
it is.
Close to 4,000 kilometers. So that requires a different level of fitness. And yeah, but that would be nice. I would maybe sometime down the line.
No,
to do that.
now that you have tasted blood, you should give it a shot.
Yeah.
Right.
That's an interesting race. But apart from that, there are very challenging breves also that are happening, like Gates of Heaven, which is coming up in January.
Right.
Yeah, and I like the Climb Kebab, which is CKB. In
Oh.
the Delhi Randonneurs organized that. That goes to the north, Dharamshala, and that's also pretty challenging. So yeah, these two.
Those are the things that are on
Like-
your,
Radar.
immediately.
Yeah.
Nice, nice, nice. I wish you all the very best. It was really fun catching up with you again, and all the very best for all the future events.
Thank you so much, Venki, and it's been a pleasure. And I have to thank you. I'm like with a lot of gratitude for this race and the sponsorship and everything. Very thankful for that. Thank you.
Thanks, Grinny. It's a pleasure. That was my conversation with Grinny. I hope you enjoyed that. If you are enjoying these podcasts and are finding them useful, please consider supporting the podcast by subscribing to it on YouTube as well as on your favorite podcasting app. It really helps. Thanks again for your continuous support. See you next week with another guest.